helping athletes understand how to go from being good in high school to competing for college minutes. Well, first and foremost, when you get to the college level, everybody can play. And so on an average high school team, you may have 3 to 5 players who can actually play the game of basketball. And I mean at an above average level, 3 to 5 players. But when you get to college, all those 3 to 5 players are on that basketball team for the most part. So players have to learn how to compete against themselves. And again, it all comes from a goal, right? And so many basketball players, their biggest goal is to get to the NBA. Well, if you want to get to the NBA, there are steps that you have to work on to get to that point. And a lot of athletes, they're just saying, this is what I want to do, but they're not putting the structure pieces in place to get there. So as we teach in Hoops Mastery, our athletes, one, getting them to understand the language barrier. So many athletes, right, get sent home, they lose their love for the game, or they start to experience conflict within the first 90 days of college. And that's because there's the language barrier. Because they don't fully understand the game, they don't understand the language. So now one coach may call it a down screen, another coach may call it a pin down. But if they're not able to understand the language and or be able to communicate the language, hey, is a pin down the same as a down screen, or like is it a flare screen, cross screen, what? So because of the language, and now on a college level, if most schools start working out with their players, some schools start on day one, and that's in August. Some schools start in September. They give them a couple days or a week or so to get their classes and get adjusted as a student. Well, now they're going from September to February. That's an awful long time. But between September and when the season starts in November, like the first game at the end of October, November, most players have lost their love for the game. They get sent home, or they're now dealing with conflict because they're not necessarily getting along with the coaching staff, and the coaching staff may be frustrated with them because now they've realized after signing a player that player can only do things physically on the court. That player has no understanding of the game. So at Hoops Mastery, we really break it down. Like, we sit down and we really spend a lot of time on the rules of the game. Because if you don't understand the rules of the game, if you don't understand the language of the game, you won't be able to be as successful in this game as you would like to be. So these are all the cheat codes, as we call them, that we impart to our athletes at Hoops Mastery. That's why they're able to go to any court, in any league, on any level, and be successful. From the middle school athletes that's then playing for their middle school, they shine. The high school players playing for their high school, they shine. College players, they shine. Why? Because they can hold a conversation about the game of basketball, and they can understand a conversation about the game of basketball. So then they can go out and execute the game of basketball correctly.